Hello viewers, a very warm good evening from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. You're watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station, and we are back here to bring you the live daily debates brought to you by QTV Gambia and your moderator Aliou Cisse. And tonight's debate, we're looking at Bunndungka Kunda constituency. And in 2017, we saw Bakary Njie won the parliamentary seat in that particular constituency under the United Democratic Party with 4,210 votes. And in that particular election, he was challenged by Modou Njie of APRC, Mamadou Diallo of JDC, Amisila of PDOIS Party, Aliou Njie of NRP, Lamin Jawara of GPDP, and Fatmata Hydra of PPP. Well, in this upcoming election, Njie is not having it easy because he's having almost four who are challenging him in the upcoming parliamentary election. I mean, we have Suleiman Jammeh, who is here in the studio. Suleiman Jammeh is contesting in the upcoming election under the APRC ticket, and he is currently the councillor for Bunndungka 6 Johnson Ward since 2013. Suleiman Jammeh is in the studio. He's also been challenged by Famara Mambure, who is contesting under Citizens Alliance. Mambure is one of the 10 candidates put up by CA for the upcoming parliamentary election. We also have two other independent candidates in the names of Samba Toure, who is not yet in the studio. Hopefully he will join us before the end of this broadcast, and also as an independent candidate. When you talk about Bunndungka Kunda constituency, I mean, this is a constituency which is divided into two wards. You have the Bunndungka 6 Johnson ward and then the Bunndungka Bohol ward. And it is the fourth biggest constituency in KM after Serekunda West, Latrikunda, and Josuan constituency. This constituency has 23,740 registered. The debate. Well, before we start, let me just inform you about the rules governing this debate, like we do with any constituency that is appearing. I mean, the debates shall last for 1 hour, 30 minutes. The debates shall include short breaks. Each of the debaters will be given 2 minutes to make an opening statement. The same applies for the closing statement as well. Candidates can ask each other questions and answer the moderator's follow-up questions. Debaters are to address each other. I know for today it's going to be just Mr. followed by the surname of the opponent. The questions are independently prepared by QTV. There will be no repetitions, rebuttals of the opening and closing statement, but there will be rebuttals if you want to challenge any of the comments made by your opponent as far as the debate is concerned. There will be a 10-minute phone-in call to allow the audience, particularly people living in Bunndungka Kunda constituency, to call and perhaps ask questions to any of the candidates for the upcoming election. And at the end of the debate, I mean, the debaters are to acknowledge each other with either handshake or elbow bump. Like I said, I mean, you're watching QTV and we're broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue, also streaming on Facebook and YouTube, and also on Q Radio 103.3. I will start with Mr. Njie. You are the sitting MP, I mean, seeking re-election. 2 minutes opening statement.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cisse, and the whole staff of QTV. I would like to thank everybody. And after thanking you and Q Group, I would like to thank God and my two parents and people of Bunndung, starting from the Alkali, the Al Mamo, my constituency chairman, Badudu Diallo, Alaji Sambukante, Fasaliu Diallo, and all my chairmen in Bunndung, the Yai Compin, Janke Conte, and Jay Jalo, Yafil Jawara, Mbano, and all the Yai Compins, Ansumana Sanyang, and all the youths, Fatmata Jadama, and all the youths, and everybody in Bunndung. I would like to thank everybody for giving me first time of being their representative, which I think I did my best. I would like to say a very big thank you to everybody who vote in Bunndung. Bunndung is for all of us, and all what we want is to develop Bunndung and make Bunndung the best Bundung or the best consequence of all the consequences in Gambia. I would like to say the same thing in Mandinka.
You have 2 minutes, remember.
Yes. Baraka bake be alatentulo kola lafta ka lula flol tentu be bunduna alkalo ba tentula aning almame ba aning almamol be men na consequence kiamano ba dudu jallo ana no malanko alay sambu kante aning pasali jallo aning kiamanol be aning na
well, I'm sorry, Mr. Njai, your time is up. 2 minutes. That's what you have. I will now move to Mr. Famara Mambure, CA. Mr. Mambure, in 2 minutes, opening statement.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Mbe bundunkol be kontonna ka kontondiro dati sate tiola memmu alkaloti nimbata je mbe sate imamu fanan kontonna mbe mo be kontonna. Assalamu alaikum mbokay maa ngi leen di nuyu di leen santa ma di leen tatagal di leen jox seen wàccuwaay ma di nuyu waa Gambia di nuyu waa Bundung ma especially di nuyu suma parti mooy Citizen Alliance si confidence bu gaay am pour tanama ma represent leen si National Assembly bi election bii di ñëw di leen wax jërë ngeen jëf di leen wax ne seen doom la seen xarit seen candidate la di leen jaajëfal wasalaam.
jërëjëf Famara Mambure CA léegi ñu am nga ne moo nekk Youssoufa Jaiteh independent candidate. Youssoufa, in 2 minutes, just an opening statement.
Yeah. Dear viewers, I am Youssoufa Jaiteh, your independent candidate from Bunndungka Kunda constituency. Tonight, I'm here to declare myself as an independent candidate. My special greeting to the Alcalde of Bundu, imams, and all those who rally behind me as independent candidate of Bunndungka Kunda constituency. I am calling everyone on board to come forward and then give me your vote for this parliamentary elections. Mbafala mo be kontona altolnal kontonam al bari mal Youssoufa Jaiteh mo la mun be fana be bundun kono pareta ka lo ka al dani kata kisola kaji ko kata dum député bun kono kono be bundun al kalo kontona be imamol kontona je ani mo morani be an ko be lore Youssoufa Jaiteh koma pour ka bampu ka dum député bun kono kono mbafala ko dalata pour ka siala jang kana pour nala kacha bentu pour ka fali mina dalilo mi atna ko lafta kata dum député bun kono kono mbafala la barka bake Bunndungka Kunda kol be
Abarka Bake, Youssoufa Jaiteh, independent candidate. And now, Suleiman Jame, APRC. Suleiman, opening statement in 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. First of all, I want to thank you for having us here, and also want to thank my honorable members here, sitting here. We are all from Bunndung, so it's good that I acknowledge and thank them for their presence here. We are here to talk to the people of Bunndung and the Gambia in general. I want to extend my greeting to the elders of Bunndung, religious leaders, traditional leaders, youth, women, and everybody in Bunndung, especially the people of Bunndung 6 Johnson Ward, who have definitely given me the mandate of serving them for 2 terms as their councillor from 2013 to date. And also, we are in the month of campaign. I want to use the opportunity to thank my campaign manager, that is Alaji Modu Sanyang, and Aji Ami Jata, who is the deputy, and the rest of the campaign team for the job well done, and the entire people of Bunndung. On that note, I want to say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Suleiman Jame, Mr. Jaiteh, Mr. Mambure, and Bakar Njai. Thank you so much once again for coming on this debate. I have to start with Mr. Bakar Njai, who is the sitting MP of Bunndungka Kunda constituency, and he is seeking re-election next month. Mr. Njai, to start with you, I mean, you have served as MP of that particular constituency for 5 years. How do you reflect in your 5 years in Parliament representing the people of Bunndungka Kunda constituency?
Alhamdulillah, I thank God. I was able to do most of the things what my people expect me to do, starting from most of their constraints that they convey to me during my first term campaign. Among them, it is the water shortage in Bundu, which I am always proud of. It has been a difficulty in Bundu since the inception that water was a problem, especially the side that I am staying. We are there almost many years. The only time we get water is 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock at night. But after being elected, that was my first task assignment that I really fought, and today, alhamdulillah, people can get water in Bundu in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, all the time, which has been a problem all along since the inception of Bundu. Among them also, I built 2 bridges, wooden bridges. That has been a major difficulty for people of Bundu, especially those people living around the water stream. There were 2 consecutive years where a child will die in that bridge crossing or in that water crossing. During my campaign, they told me that this is a problem that they cannot fix and they want to rely on me. After fixing the water problem, I focused on that too. I put up a very good wooden bridge for them, which alhamdulillah today, after I won the first year I did that, up to today nobody died in that area.
Thank you very much, Mr. Njai. I just want to do a follow-up here. You talk about addressing what you described as was the issue of the water shortage in Bunndungka Kunda constituency. I want to know, are you saying you have addressed the water problem in the whole of Bunndung constituency or just your area?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, where the side where the problem is hardly hit or it was affected hardly, that is the area, but that also improved other areas, because as we speak now, there is no area that I'm aware of that don't have water in the day. Before, that was a nightmare. Our kids, our children, thought that then water come from gallons, because every parent in Bunndung have at least 20-liter gallons in their houses where they fetch water at night. Very late at night, our kids only see water during the day in gallons. But today, that is a thing of the past in Bunndung.
But I mean, as we speak, what's your experience with the water problem as we speak?
Alhamdulillah, because when I was addressing the issue, it was not only the shortage of water that we have. We also have a problem with the water, because when people drink the water, they normally have stomach ache. And I can remember there was an old man, still now, he drink this Evian water. Simply because when he drink that water, his stomach will pain or will ache him. He stopped drinking it completely. So I went on away, complained to them that, look, my people are drinking water which is not fit for consumption. And I was told by the authorities that that water was fit for consumption, but I insisted because I know what my people were going through. We went to a laboratory, they tested it, they said it was fit for consumption, but I insisted. They go again and test it. I then insist for it to be tested on an independent.
Exactly. Let me now move to Mambure. I mean, Mambure, you are contesting in such an election for the first time. I mean, you live in that particular constituency. What's your experience as far as the claim made by Bakarinja is concerned? And just to go further and tell us why exactly are you contesting in this election? The same question will apply to the other 2 opponents as well.
Thank you, Mr. Cisse. First of all, I would just like to emphasize my reason of being contesting. The first reason I may mention, it might be inadequate water supply.
Answer the question first.
Yes.
You have heard from Mr. Njai.
Yes.
Do you believe in what he said?
No, in my site where I am living, still now we are struggling with water shortage. Yes, and then that site is not far from where Honorable, Njai is staying. So I may wonder, where, in which side of Bundung is Mr. Njai is talking of, but not around the end.
And apart from water, what are the other issues in Bunndungka Kunda constituency that has warranted you to stand and contest for the seat of the parliament?
Yeah, so my second reason is that, the women of Bunndungka Kunda, especially the women in the markets, they have a problem, a lot of problem concerning about the poor structure of the market. And then those issues need to be addressed, But for them still now they are struggling without proper market, place.
Yes, I will now move to Jaite. I will come back to you. Yes, Jaite,
Yeah.
the same questions. You have heard from Mr. Njai, who is a sitting MP. He has talked about addressing what he said was the water shortage before he was elected. You lived in Bundung.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you say is something true. This is something that Bunndungka people are still affected. When it comes in terms of water shortage, and even that, still problems are still there on that side. So it has been, people have been trying over and over, but still the solution is yet to be caught. So secondly, there are a lot of problems in Bundung that Bundung people have today, because most of these feeder roads, so it becomes problem. So when it comes to rain season, there are so many things, so there are roads that you cannot use them at the end of the day. So also Bundung people also have a problem, because that's only, especially the youth. So having enough football field is a problem for you Bunndungka people, because when you look at the field we have at the Bundung, it's not fit enough to at least contain so the amount of youth that used to be trained there. So field also is also our problems, because we are using schools, because Bundung school is one of them whereby youth used to go there and then have their sessions. So which is very, very affecting us as Bunndungka people. And then also the women's and the youth empowerment. So we are seeing that a lot of our young people in Bundung were not really being engaged when it comes to in terms of training them skills and other stuff like that, and empowering the women.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jaite. I now move to Mr. Suleiman Jame, APRC. Mr. Jame, you have heard from Mr. Njai about the issue of the water problem. Has this been solved in the whole of Bundung?
Actually, when I came as a councillor, I understand it was a problem, it was a challenge, and still now is a challenge. Even where I live is a challenge, and since I came in 2013, Nawek people might be seeing me. I've been, trying to at least challenge them with the problems that we have about the water. But notwithstanding, when we first came, we were able to, because we know water was a problem, and there was a time Nawek put an embargo to this public standpipe. So when that happened, we were able to come up with a project, and through that project, we were able to install more than 80 community standpipe within Bundung, so that people can have access to water. In fact, the target was you don't have to walk more than 200 meters without water. So that one, as a community, at our local level, we were able to do that, to provide water in various compounds. But the main challenge that we have is with Nawek. And in 2015-2016, we were able to give Nawek a property just by the borehole station, where they dug a borehole And that borehole we inaugurated in 2016 just to address the water issue. But we realized that the water, according to NAWEC, they said the water was not fit for consumption, so then they stopped it. But I know there was a time there was an improvement, but up till today, even my own house, I'm affected because.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about we. You said we. You and who?
Yes,
so
me and my ward development committee, because it's not about Suleiman sitting here as a councillor. Suleiman is here as a institution, like, because when I was a councillor, I am just representing the people of Bundu.
Yeah, it's good that you have clarified what you mean by we. But aside from the issue of water, what are the other pressing issues in Bunndungka Kunda constituency that has, inspires you to come out and what you talk?
Yes, livelihood project by providing microfinance to women, and that microfinance went beyond Bundung. In fact, that microfinance now is like, we have it in almost about 3 to 4 regions in the Gambia. And also, there was a time when Bundung was very dark, and I was able to come up with an initiative, called Community Lightening Project. So that lightening project, we started it at the graveyard where, all of us will end our life. So for that being the case, we started it there, to the car parks, to the mosques and churches, then to the neighborhood. Today, if you go to Bundung, as a councillor for the first time in the history of the Gambia, a councillor with his team and the community of Bundung were able to embrace this project to make it a success story, wherein now, today, it has been if you go to anywhere in this country, you will see the light. And I think I will commend the people of Bundung for giving me that support.
Mr. Njai, let me now come back to you. Earlier, you talked about what you said was the issue of the water shortage that you have addressed. And then from what you have heard from all your three opponents, they are saying, no, what you are saying is not the case. I mean, we have heard from Suleiman Njai talking about what he did with his ward development committee, installing almost 80 standpipes. What was your target and what have you achieved?
Thank you very much. The issue of water, I don't think it is well understood. What I mean is water shortage. It was a problem, a general problem is in Bundung. You can go to Bundung and ask. I am the one who sorted out. And if you know a community called Bijanker, they were not having water for God knows when, since the first settlers. Because there was no main pipe that run through the community. I'm the one who did it. Today, alhamdulillah, all of them are having good water. The people of Bundung were drinking water. My brother said it here, Mr. Jammeh, that there was an improvement. It was me. All these problems were a problem since the inception of Bundung up till my time of coming into office. I was the one who did all those things. And the lightning project he is talking about, I can say I'm the brainchild of that lightning project. It was my time. I came up with the idea, and everybody picked it up.
You said it was your own idea. How? Your brainchild? How?
Yeah, because immediately when I take over office, I went to a boy called Omar, who works with NAWEC. I told him that, look, I have an idea in mind that I want to initiate in Bundung. And then I discussed with him. I said, I want to make a pilot project. Then from there, I can start it.
Yes, I'll come back to you. Mr. Jammeh, what's your response?
My response is, the records are very clear. Even QTV, if you go to your archive, you will see it in other radio television stations. This is something that, in fact, everything is fabricated here in the Gambia, and I was the first person to install it. And even when I did it, in fact, I took a unit to my mayor, because when he saw the thing, he was very impressed about it. In fact, when you go to KMC, you'll see the sample there. In fact, the issue of the light, you know, that one I don't have to go. What I know for myself is when you go out in Bunndung, you can go and ask, is the people who can judge who is the first person to come up with the initiative. And the initiative, I did it and I make it. Because so far so good, when you go to Bunndung, you can only see the lights that I installed. And later, I thank the people of Bunndung and other neighborhood. They picked the idea and they did it for themselves. Other communities, they will engage me and I will guide them through. So this is the whole thing. It's not about, I'm not here to even compete, but I know my initiative, I did it, and when you go to Bunndung, you will see the units.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jame. I will now come back to Mambure. Earlier on, you mentioned what you said is the poor market in Bunndung, which is really affecting women. Someone might say, I mean, but the markets are under the council. You just go in there as a National Assembly member, a lawmaker. What can you do to make any impact or any change?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Sise. Okay, as a problem mentioned, you know, I can work hand in hand, you know, with the ward councillor. Because there is a local government, you know, a minister responsible for local government. So I believe when elected, of course, we can add on the budget so that we can improve the markets that are in Bunndung. But that's the only way, you know, I can support them.
How will you add to the budget? How?
Yeah, because of when checking the amount that is allocated for the Ministry of Local Government and Lands, you know, checking through whether that budget is sufficient, you know, to make certain developments. So due to that reason, when we check and see that this budget is not enough, you know, to make certain developments, of course we can raise the budget.
Now I'll put on the spot here. You talk about the budget allocated to the Ministry of Local Government. How much is it?
No, I wouldn't know exactly as of now, but I know it was not sufficient. Had it been that it is sufficient, you know, then of course the Ministry of Local Government and Lands could have able to improve.
But I mean, it seems like you don't have the facts here. Where do you base what you are claiming here?
No, of course.
Because you don't get the facts. You don't even know how much was allocated to the Minister of Lands.
That's true. But upon knowing that the money is not sufficient, then obviously there will be some lapses of development.
But how do you know the money is not sufficient, Mr. Mambure?
We all listen to this budget allocation. We do listen to it.
All right. I mean, let me now go back to Jaite. In addition to what you said is the persistent water shortage in Bunndung, you talked about the issue of the poor road networks in Bunndung. You talk about the feeder roads, especially during the rainy season. I mean, it's always difficult, I mean, to use these roads. You talk about the lack of what you said, football field. I mean, you talk about youth and women empowerment. We want to know, I mean, how are you going to address this issue? You mentioned it quite a lot, feeder roads, football field.
Yeah, that's true, because as a member of the National Assembly, if we are going there to prepare your bill, the bill we are going with to the National Assembly, obviously it has to be the interest of your people, based on the interest of the people that you are living or you are representing, especially the people in Bunndung. So these are some of the problems I have to come up to make sure that, because one, I'm living in Bunndung, and then I am representing Bunndung at the end of the day. So I have to sit with the Bunndung people, some of the problems we are having, and obviously these are something that are, you know, really affecting Bunndung people. So at the end of the day, it has to be something that I have to raise.
You talked about a bill. What bill are you talking about, and how can a bill build a football field?
No, what I am saying, you are saying that, you know, how I think about, you know, what I have said. You understand? Are you talking of how to come up with this, how to, you know, have a solution to these problems that I have said?
That's my question.
Exactly. As a community, we have to sit down, because there are area councillors. There are these councillors, obviously directly deal with the people on the grassroots. So this, at the end of the day, is that something that we have to see as a community. We have a ward development committees. So through, as a National Assembly member, I have to work with my councillors to make sure that some of these programs, how we can able to tackle it, especially meeting with the philanthropists and other stuff. And then this fund that used to come from council level, to see how best, I tell the councillors, to see how best we can able to, when we come to football field, because football field in Bunndung, really, Bunndung has no enough space. This is since the first settlement of Bunndung. It was not planned. You understand? So for that issues, the only field we have, we can able to see how we can able to maintain that one field.
Okay, I will come back to you. Let me now bring in Mr. Jame here. I mean, you've talked about a lot that you have achieved in the past years as a councillor. You talk about the issue of the street lights, even, you know, taking it to the cemeteries. I mean, you talked about, like you said, having a standpipe, water. You talk about, you know, microfinance support. You know, how many women were helped as far as your this intervention?
Wow, that's concerned? One, I think, the figure exactly, because what happened, you know, I support individual women and groups. So in fact, in Bunndung, especially in Bunndung 6 Johnson ward, where I was as a councillor, in fact, the number of women groups that benefited through my microfinance project is just is so many women. And at the same time, to add up in that, there is a microfinance project that we are running as a partner. I am the ambassador in the Gambia, called Girlfriend to Girlfriend. That one, in fact, so far so good. I know that one alone, almost 140 women benefited across the country. Apart from that, also I work with financial institutions that normally support women groups. You know, even just 2 days ago, a group benefited from a loan of $136,000. So basically, this is not now. During my first term, I supported, in fact, what I did, in fact, I have 2 different types. I have a loan program for Yai Compins only. And that loan program, it doesn't mean only APRC Yai Compin. Even some other political party Yai Compins are part of, they all benefited, they are all benefiting in that loan. So for that being the case, we did a lot of things, and I cannot just explain everything about my achievement here, but as we are going along.
I mean, you talk about it. You talk about over 100 women groups have benefited from your interventions. I just want to know, because we're talking about transparency here.
Yes.
Where did you get the initial funding to start this whole thing?
The initial funding was from Girlfriend to Girlfriend. I am the ambassador of Girlfriend to Girlfriend.
Girlfriend to Girlfriend.
Yes, Girlfriend to Girlfriend. So international. So our base is in Copenhagen. So everything starts from there. So this is why, you know, most of the women benefited. And through that, I was able to have the experience of loan program for women. So that one, I am just a facilitator, but I have a group of a team that normally coordinate that loan program.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Let me now go back to Mr. Njai. You are the sitting National Assembly member. You have had the other issues raised by your opponents aside from the water problem. They talk about the issue of the market, roads in Bunndungka Kunda constituency, lack of football field. I mean, what have you done during your first term to make sure you are able to address these issues? You only mentioned about the water shortage that you said you have addressed.
Thank you.
Did you see these concerns raised by your opponents as a priority for you?
Thank you very much, Mr. Cisse, because you did not give me enough time to say a lot of things that I wanted to say. But anyway, thank you very much for that. Yeah, all those are issues in Bunndung. In fact, the time I was coming as an MP in Bunndung, Mr. Cisse, Bunndung was as dirty as any dump site, I can say, when we have 2 councillors in Bunndung. And those councillors are there. But it's not my job as a sitting National Assembly member. I was just being elected to represent them at the National Assembly. But I go to the National Assembly from Monday to Friday. And during the weekends, I go back to the community to do settle and to rehabilitate a lot of the dilapidating roads in Bunndung. I have almost done a lot of road rehabilitations in Bunndung. Most of the major roads in Bunndung that were not accessible by even motorcycle or car or even pedestrian, it was difficult for them to pass through because the roads were very bad because of the drainage during the rain. All those roads are bad. Among them is the road to the hospital. Among them is the road, is the Bantaba road across the Safidin road that goes down, and a lot of roads that link on the highway, Bunndung Highway. When you want to come down from the highway, it is always difficult because the waterway has completely destroyed many roads in Bunndung. And I think all of them can attest that. Every weekend then, I go out with Bunndung Youth Development Association, which I formed when I came into office, to be able to work together and be able to do all these things.
Thank you very much.
Among them, sorry.
Thank you very much. I'll come back to you. Thank you very much, Mr. Njai. I'm now going to Mambure, Jaite, and Jami. I mean, you have had the incumbent talks about a lot of good things that he said he has done. You know, rehabilitate feeder roads, construct wooden bridges, you know, and try to address the issue of the water shortage in Bunndung. What are his failings that makes you think, hey, you know what, this guy is not the right party for Bunndungka Kunda constituency? I will start with you, Mambure.
Yeah, Mr. Njai, I would just like to intervene. Still now, what Mr. Njai has said here, you know, definitely for me, I disagree. Yes, I disagree. Because even at the hospital road, still now, during rainy season, we struggle a lot. Just beside the hospital, I mean. Even 100 meter. You know, so if Mr. Njai says so, definitely I will disagree, and then the people of Bunndung also can attest to that. Definitely.
And
then
what are his failings?
His failings are, you know, forced to address, you know, poor inadequate road networks in Bunndungka Kunda. And then even the water supply, still now, we do have lot of problems. Because for me, I'm living in the town of Bunndung, in the heart of Bunndung, around Bunndung Markas. But I do suffer to fetch water.
Yes, let me now move to Jaite. Mr. Jaite, I mean, you have heard from the incumbent. He has talked about a lot that he said he has achieved.
Yeah.
I mean, what are his failings?
Yeah, it's true what he was saying. Like, you know, he's trying. But still, things are not intact, because the way I think that he should have succeeded indeed as a National Assembly member or parliamentarian of Bunndungka constituency, he has to liaise with the councillors, the two councillors we have in Bunndung, because these are the people that are directly dealing with the grassroots people. And then whatever development he wants to, he is yearning for the Bunndungka people, he has to liaise with these two councillors we have in Bunndung, whereby the ward development committees will come together and see how best we can, you know, the fight he is in, he will be able to, you know, succeed indeed. But without doing so, all what he's trying, he cannot be, you know, succeed indeed, because Bunndung is too big for.
Just be specific. What are his failings? What will you point to as something that you will say, Mr. Njai has failed in this area, and that's why I'm contesting to challenge him?
Yeah, when you come to water, it's a problem. The feeder road also is also a problem, because still there are roads that are still being affected, because you cannot use them during the rain seasons.
I'll come back to you. Mr. James?
Yes, one thing about me as a councillor, when he won in 2017, he can attest to that. I called him to congratulate him, and later I went with the same councillor. He's talking about we don't do nothing. Bunndung was dirty. We went to him. We showed him our preparedness to work with him. He invited us in one of the activity, cleaning exercise, yes, which we did. But from there up till today, in fact, we have a ward office. Since I won in 2018 for my re-election as a councillor, he has never called me, even to engage me. In fact, in my own office, he has never put his foot in our office as our MP. You understand what I mean? And at the same, notwithstanding, I still engage him when I have programs of activity like inaugurating, even the lightning project. When I was inaugurating that, I sent him a letter, and he honored it indirectly because he sent my, opponent to come. And that opponent, I was able to give her all the juice to even allow her to cut the ribbon for the inauguration of our community lightning project. So, and as far as my ward is concerned, his activity there, his presence in our ward was not that visible. It's not visible. Many people don't know him.
All right, we will come back. Mr. Yai, take note of all what they said. I mean, when we come back from the break, you will be given time to respond to all what they have said.
Thank you.
I mean, viewers, you remember you're still watching QTV, and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. My name is Aliou Cisse, and today we have in the studio candidates who are contesting for the parliamentary seat in the Bunndungka Kunda constituency. We will go with a short break and we'll be back soon.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522-222, 353-2222.
Hello viewers, welcome back from that short break. You're still watching QTV and we're broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. My name is Aliou Cisse and you're watching our daily live debate here on QTV, and today we are looking at Bunndungka Kunda constituency. I am glad to say we have now been joined in the studio by Samba Toure, who is an independent candidate contesting in the Bunndungka Kunda constituency. Samba Toure, welcome to the program. In just 2 minutes, just introduce yourself, and then you came late actually.
Yes, good evening everyone. My colleagues, my competitors here within the TV. I am Samba Toure. I'm an independent candidate. I'm contesting on the Bunndungka Kunda constituency.
Thank you very much, Samba Toure. Well, let me now go back to you, Mr. Njai, before we go on the break. I mean, you have heard what your opponents have said about the little that you have done. From what they have said, it seems, you are not that much physically present as far as the affairs of Bunndungka Kunda constituency is concerned.
Thank you very much, Mr. Cisse. I think they are very unfair to me, simply because once I am a National Assembly member, not a councillor. And having said that, what I did it because of our councillors were failing us. Because let me start with Mr. Mambure, that the road next to the hospital, you can go to Bunndung and ask. That road was bad. What we did was road rehabilitation program. That is what we were doing. We were merely going and looking for gravel to come and fill the potholes. And year in, year out, those things wash away. Do you understand? You cannot say that those gravels will be there up to now. It is not a tar road. It is a road it is not a road that is constructed by a construction company. It was a road that, together with the Bundu Youth Development Association, we tried to fix some of the roads that were bad, that were horrible, in order for us to help the people of Bundu for easy passage, going and coming from their destinations. That is what we did. Thank you very much. And coming to the councillor, Mr. Jammeh, I think he is also very unfair to me. When I won, I was the MP. I am the MP. I went to them, both councillors. Then we had APRC councillors. It was me who reached out to them that I want to work with them, even though we are not in the same party. But all what I see is Bundu. I invited them. Anytime I'm having a community work, he did not show up. He invited me in a christening ceremony of the solar street lighting project with a brainchild. I was busy, and I sent a representative to represent me. I think I did
Jammeh,
well.
was that a tit for tat game?
Not actually, because the thing is between me and Allah.
It was not a tit for tat game. I did not see him like that. I see him as a brother. I see him as somebody that I can work with within Bundu. Do you understand? That is all what I see. I see only Bundu. This is why I reached out to the two councillors then. Because then I saw the problem of Bundu that need to be fixed. And nobody is taking the responsibility to fix them. So I decided to do my National Assembly work. Then I go and do
Thank you very much, Mr. Njai. Let me now bring in Mr. Jammeh here. Jammeh.
Yes. You know, as an MP, you know, he said he was engaged into cleaning exercise. I know anybody who knows me in Bundu, you know, on weekly basis, even last weekend, I was in it. Week before last, I was in it. You understand what I mean? Even the potholes that he's talking about, just last year, just by where Mr. Mambure was talking about, it was the UDP youths who lived in that area who invited me. They engaged me, and that area is not even in my ward. I joined hands with them, provide tractor for them, and we did it together, just by the tap. You understand what I mean? Those things are on record. If you go to my Facebook, you will see everything.
All right, thank you very much. Let me now bring in Samba Toure. Samba Toure, once again, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you are contesting as an independent candidate. I mean, just share with us, I mean, what are the main issues in Bunndungka Kunda constituency, and what will you identify as the failure of the incumbent that inspires you to contest as an independent candidate?
In Bunndungka Kunda, we have a very bad market. That's what we call borehole market. Just this morning, I went there to see how the market looked like, and the people, that is most of the sellers, and even people who came in for marketing, and then so on. It's like Bunndung is not developed at all. We have a very bad road. Even in terms of water resources, to have it in Bunndung is difficult. And the women will be fetching water, around 1 o'clock a.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning, which is very terrible in Bunndung. And the electricity on and off is too rampant in Bunndung. And these are certain things that I want to come up with it, and then as a concern to them to see how best I can do my quota at the National Assembly level to play a quota, and then make sure all these things, you know, has been already fixed in our constituency in Bunndungka Kunda.
This is going to be a question to all of you. I mean, you've all raised about what you said are the issues in your constituency. I will start with Jame. I mean, when you talk about National Assembly, what do you understand are the core mandate or the core responsibility of a National Assembly member?
It's about oversight function and also to represent the interests of your constituency and the Gambia in general. Because whatsoever happens there is about to make laws or policies, and those policies should reflect the aspiration of the people that you represent. That is the Gambian people and the people of your constituency.
Well, I know we will continue, but I think it's good now we're going to the local language because time is running out.
Yeah.
I will start with you, Jaite. I mean, you prefer in what language? Mandinka. Okay. Ila dia mo kono ye fenjama majele, but I mean, but you can just continue either in English or in every local languages. I mean, nyamo député wo munemu député fo la doku woti.
Yo, député nyamo député wala motu me yalan ko ni ko mo le ko waccu mano e ke fenti me ya lonko ita mol tar siri mol toyala me yalan ko ibe bola tundo menna anim banko be ila kawni kaje ak fenti banko wol batarle bulokono ita si mol député bunkono kaje ko fofu mbetama kam banko kan man su kunda be opere ka jame kaje ko ila banko dingli yallo membe keri anin kalon ko umma su kunda be tama kan nyaali le ban su kuda na do kuda be tama kan nyaali la anin kaje ko duwa kendo su banko kan banko dunyante tamala menna police sol membe keri banko kan ay ke fenti me ya lonko abe clef fenti me kan abe terrafe kaji ko ay enforce kaji ko ka ake nyante kala nyame ko duwa itani nyame kaji ko banko dun le development ani banko dun le nyatata ila tanko ani le service o abe tar fenti me kan larin marle kendo kan banko dun la ni julomu député bunati
yefen fo iko kaluwal dada ka oversight function ke bari ni murta Bunndungka Kunda constituency ite kita mori mala ko ilafta kalo as an independent candidate bi ni alake e dunta National Assembly ibe muna kenola through your this oversight function kaje e ka kolya ko men fo melbe Bunndungka Kunda constituency isa jarano
wulbe kle fenete mi alon ko badro ko tidunta député bun ko non bunnin ko la problème menti o banko di la problème menti ni la mu fendi kaji ko kata kayta député bun ko ko ndela mul ni la mu la promoti adu ni la mu fendi banko be sulari menna banko kan anim banko dim ko to mal be kaji ko be kle fendi banko ba adresse la banko be kala na mul la problème kaji ko député bun kayta ni ko ni la be kerim banko kan ni la mu la problème so le problème ni abe solf la jamais kaji ko le problème ke na problème mais alon ko e men dumbul ka fatan député bun kono nakuma ka wonyenta da futandi lafta men
membre you prefer in Wolof or Mandinka?
Yes, as in Wolof.
In Wolof, okay. Si sa kaddu wax nga lu bari li nga xam ne moo nekk jafe-jafe ñoo xam ne waa Bunndung ñu ngi ko dunda wax nga lu mel ni wàllu ñàkk ndox bi yaa ngi wax fi marché bi ak yu bëree bëri yow tey nga nar a taxaw pour jongante pour nekk li nga ne moo nekk député pour Bunndung tey soo fa naroon dugg si National Assembly si jàngoro yi nga lim ni yëpp noo koy saafare looy def as National Assembly bi pour mën a gis ne yii problème yëpp saafar nga ko.
waaw Mr Cissé ma ngi laa gërëm di gërëm waa Bunndung waat di wax ne soo déggee député nguur dafa am ñetti banxaas si ñetti banxaas yooyu noonu National Assembly tam fa la bokk ok yow yaa fa demal di wax si sa kaddu askan bi at gox boo jógee at Gambia at laaj léegi problème yooyu noo ko mën a solver mooy foog nga wax ko si néegi député bi maanaam noo ko waxee si néegi député bi mooy mun ngaa pass bill bill boo xamante ni bill boobu noonu lum ëmba sa problème yi gox bill boobu noonu soo firee ëmba bi rek di nga fa fekk problème yi marché di nga fa fekk problème yi yoon soo yooyu noonu ngay jël teg ko before the National Assembly ngeen waxtaan si seet yan yoon ngeen di jël yan jéegu ngeen di jël pour mun a saafaral problème boobu noonu.
waaw am na loo wax xam naa ne député dangaa dem pour lobby yow dangaa dem pour wax waaye soo xoolee yow li nga lim ni yëpp xaalis moo koy defar nekkul wax kese yow si sa xalaat looy use pour mën a gis nga mën a am xaalis boo xam ne dina mën a saafaral problème parce que marché moom nekkul wax kese moo koy defar nekkul biir rek mooy defar marché
waaw loolu moom soo ñëwee si loolu comme député moom foog sa ward councilor bi nga mën a liggéeyam moom yaa ngi dégg yow da ngaa wax soo demee si level of the ward yaa na saan boobu ward councilor bi moo ko moom yow nekkal nga fa gaay pour defal loi yaa na saan pour dooleel loi yi waaye kii daf fi toog yaa na saan pour defaral la seen gox bi yaa na saan loolu bokk na si problème boo xamante ni Bundung right now ñu ngi koo face ward councilor bi fële ak député bi fële déggoo bu gaay war a déggoo dafa des yaa na saan so man am naa that believe ne at ward councilor bu mun a doon mun naa liggéeyam moom yaa ngi dégg mun naa liggéeyam moom si kaw liggéey boobu noonu nag si la ñoo mun a saafaral gox bi luy seen jafe-jafe waaye yow kenn doo ko mun a def
jërëjëf léegi dinaa indi ki nga xam ne moo nekk Mr Ndiaye Mr Ndiaye ñin tamit itlemu Bundung la député woti ani ye ñi problème mo le même fo marché la ko silo la ko I mean jio la ko ya be majane ite itata ji sanje lolu député kam to mena ibije ye mu ne fo wala ye mu ne ke pour kaje bunno ko la ñi problème mo mel ko wala ñanta ka moy ya moy
barka bake folo député la do ko mendi wala ñindi ko katara la moli député bugodo atele mu ñani e daldi je banko la banta ba bado katara ila sola ko folaje pour mansa kunda ay adresse na menke je wala ñindi ko e yim problème wol même fo nge fo député bugoto le nga ministre le kumandi nge kacandi bundu e problème wol même be sodo bira sila ku a marché ku loptano la ku ndiyamuta lale abe de a in record nga fole pour men yalon ko ministre anala line department ol pour ye loda ke je saje bundun kol fanan e si ke commune ko consequence dol be nyame bari fanan ka namole jo so naw namo men ka jo nga nyantole sodo pour ay murunan bundun kono pour nga nyin men foten pour ko hol be doku bundun lota député mo kono le at the floor of the National Assembly ngi foje nga itandi la je be pare manda wala kata bule noma ela official kono ka itandi la ko nyin dokol nyanta kelal manda wala fanan nata wura pour ka nyin dokol beke nga men be foten pour keke bundum kono kaje ko bundu ye fisa bari nyaton ko e ka tubabol ka men e ka vision na sodo e lafta tala damendo foyo wala sodo so ndol ngo wala sodo wala na nga parendro ke ko la men yalon ko ka foy ko short term plan ani long term plan so na short term plan fangale ka wura nim bundum funding ke wol nim musol nga bundum do ko fobi alhamdulillah ndol bina wato min na bundum marché o kono jebi nyamen alhamdulillah andum ata ko kansulol be jeel nada nga wurale ngol beke ndol si men noje at that level ndol ngo kele say mbulata minister fana noma pour ila line department men yalon koy bekoto
yes ila to min sol bantale jamed na ñawa ci yow way bama njëkke ci touré rek touré so ñu mëne wax rek bi nga toogee yaa ngi di wax yëfi ndox bi ak yeneen jafe-jafe yoo xam ne waa Bundu ñu ngi koo dunda yow yaa ngi ut toogo bi pour nekk si néegi député yow tey soo fa naroon na nekk soo fa naroon nekk for instance lan nga ban yoon ngaay jaar pour mun a gis ne jafe-jafe yoo lim ni nga mun koo saafara
mbe ma nekk kamal fol
yeah it's fine
okay député bu ngolam loi dada damento loi mi yalan koy no wolbe tara banko dungol be kunna you can understand and then na bota woto ila tundo ibe tundo fasala nyaadele député bungoto fo min satinna mol fana nyase boy la tundo la e ka understand na boto silol ko na fa nyamen e man beta ya bunnun kono ninda sita alel de maroto silo be kabo bitiki yasin kana bohol marseto kabo bohol marseto kada connect Latrikunda Sukuta highway kan. This is my first thing that I'm going to work on. You can understand, right? And then science thing about Sulemani Lampuldela, I engage in street lights in Bunndungka Kunda from Ron Mango to almost Kata Ball Konka. The street light will be until I be engaged ning Sekumar Keta and ning Ron Mango youths until I was the facilitator of the in the street lights project, in Bunndungka Kunda. Already in Manke deputy, Manke councilor, then I was able to do that in Bunndungka Kunda. Then I think natara plaso data naino nsa fenke no minta metawola. You can understand.
Nya jube ye fempo iko electrical wasilo le doku. Bari isalon ko wo manke deputy wala doku.
Amanke deputy wala doku. Already na connection so the connection on milan ko no ebelaring.
Connection Juma?
And overseas connections, because right now, as I'm speaking to you, I'm the president of my childhood in Bunndung Bahamas childhood friends. I'm the president. You can understand. In the business of one because currently I'm having the account with me. Because
how much are we talking about here, Mr. Toure? The money?
Yeah, the money.
Sila doko manke fair today.
Manke fair kuti. Atuta in your connection I'm sorry. You can understand because from being connection old. Aning arrangement ini mil ba connection so ni mil arrangement kel
legi no buga xam dak ite yes any sauver ke pour kalon ko isulta ko de jellala pour kan silo doku and ñin tamit il account yelle beje
no the science thing nka sila doku min foten omu fonkolti like arrangement mi alan ko abelaring am finalize follow e ka understand because man dum bi député bu ko na follow e ka understand because wala kina last time ka itane mon lako nka tende mon lako ning alake yenke deputy ka understand right fengol bi je milan ko mbena fele bunun ko no fengol milan ko no bunun ko fengol bi ite yilla la fa
abaraka pak leki Mr. Jammeh ba ma indi la peni yow mo xamna de nga la ka ci olaf wala ci anyone okay ba ma indi la ci sosse kon ñu waxtan ci sosse rek yefen jama fo mi ala ko iko yakele covering as a councillor since 2013 ye jola ko you brought water project there, I mean microfinance pour musol sembentu yandi straight light solting, but then electrical pour National Assembly. What else do you want to do for the people of Bunndung? And then iba kino la nyadi le katu nyamo iko deputy dokolem ko luwal dada amanke pour kasidol construct. You can lobby, but it's not your mandate pour kasidol doko.
Hayalon tengo understand le so wala tin nanta sila because of politico nga kuma fonta min kenola député la rôle mo minti mbo kelale anun nimu député te falang ata kala ko Suleiman le mu député as an individual but ngalo ne ko I will have experts behind me milialon ko inomba consultation o kala ninko expert is the resources, the technical resources available within my community kaje ko whenever there is a bill, whenever there is an issue that emerge, consultation over Kelale, and also, through Molia alum deputy Yalon tomorrow is a lobby kefang because ning contacts leng. I have a lot of contacts because honey beating. I'm on TV. Deputy Dolbije, I give them project. Councillors, I give them project. But we be minute wala nyintuko because nyaton ko len wo molti anung jang ado min bijang wala nyintuko ni mu deputy mol kala file kaji ye fenke wala ye feasible
yeklinde njaay la fo project kol
yalong ate ba damin to fo kam fam project o nim project o len ko marché o bohol market o man tela site ninje ka fe wo mu councilor dolti and that councilor belongs to his party ndala wodo man councilor so
wato men fo gang anata kam men fo manki
no what I mean
okay sir
no what I mean
ja abula
what I mean ya jelen tele project o atatal for beyond my ward the other side of Bunndung kaburo bi jël mi yaran ko ñetti taat lem bang kaburo ndel nga lampo ki o kaburo kono and one of my colleague councillor, because Dabo Kunda calling, Jami Kunda calling teti, Sanawayale Banatema, Mba Konton Mba Jaila, Councillor Lamin Dabo. Within Sita, I was able to give him a community standpipe right in that ward. You understand what I mean? So, to make a difference, you understand? Abakela minti yenjele councillor, as a councillor, be more for councillor Jamme. I will continue the same trend as a...
Thank you so much. Leginjai, I will give you 1 minute, just report us if you want to react to whatever he said. You were trying to interject while he was talking.
Yeah, comme même fo kan aka ko le jahas men yalan ko manke kilomoti ngam même fo anata lafta même fo le manke kilomoti ndeka même fo wato men yalan ko janning this new council men yalan ko be je mina bundum be nyame alhalo be nyame, it was terrible. So imandra do ko ke ka nyama wala nante ko fo nsi wuli nga nte nyakas no la wala because yetol engage le pudu yena ni do ko they were running away from me. So ndunde nga jela ko bundu be nyame ntele mu itol be bentele koto so ntete bulano la nyama wala nante wulta kaje ko ka bundu seniyandi ka seniyandi ka silol deda me alon ko hani ata ko amanke député wala do koti bar bundu ko le sulata da wala na wulta ngaki
yefem fa iko ika bori la munat na yamere ika bori
itol le along because nte ngani yolo soto pour ka do ko ke bundu ndamay bundu kol wala atin nan futate itol bema wato itol APRC council fulo lebeje bari ntatale mfutate ntatale ngetol be kumandi nge invite na suwo kono nge be sindi nkoy ko it's true nal mantra particularly but it doesn't matter. What matter here is bundu ntol nga bundu neje bundu laftale ngam bulo ka fu nyoma be nga dete nyola nga bundu doku.
Okay, abaraka bake. Sa mfuta stage mi alon ko sa mbali bulala nyar kom sa moy fem fo mi alon ko ilefta ka jabi wala ye nyini kar so ilefta ko kela monyo do nyini ka ko sono wala asi wo keno sa jani nga diama continent. Yes, Mambure, you can ask if you have a question.
Yes, I'm left from them for the drum. Well, I'm honorable Jaiti, you know, because of okay, Kabrate Diamuda, you know, ntenga disagree le. But it doesn't mean that ne mba jaw yakane. You understand? Ntole be bundung killing. You know, atamante long back, but Councillor Jamme.
No, you have a question.
No, but
we want questions. Question
no,
one, please.
No, I just want to clear that.
Time, yeah.
I just want to clear that. You understand? So lafta like a Jason Yandi. You know, I'm not that type. Momenke mola, you know, achieve menota ka biti.
That's
honorable. I just want to clear that.
Wow,
yeah.
That's clear. I told Besai momo alako ye yini karasoro ilafta ke mo nyodo yini ka question is ake no sign.
Lafa ka yini ka patil wala jinde ko. Like ani
patil ko jumala yini ka
mo flo comme like nyang Suleiman anem Bakari Njai because Bakari na on sanko Bakari be UDP la Suleiman be APRC la but then munatna because ko mota particularly folat ne man do ko kino bang folat ne man do ko kino bang because it matter particularly.
Nte pati kake pati yode o mante wulindi bundu nende wulindi daga jela ko lafta bundu ne represent la wala na ni mol be lafta do ko kala wala na ntata futa de tol be ma pour ka je ko ibe na ngam bulo du nyoko ngad bundu do ko anu amanke tolti hani mo ko to men ya lon ko e manke di APRC di futa te belem ni pour ni ya kata ni do ko ka bundu do ko.
Mr. Jammeh?
Yeah, akamin voting yalon te fon ya fol ko ngamitle ay engage bari patiko ni wala momo yalon ko Suleiman is a Suleiman for all because hani UDP ngol wol muntala Suleiman leti ntemu ila Suleiman leti because ni bele kake so Mr. Toure min foten asa keno maybe party difference lemo bari ntela side thing because ntela responsibility mo minti ngakele andum bring ateka time mo min fon fo won mitale ngoke after bring to the electoral 2018 bring winter anyen ka fa en engage la nene engage la nene mang engage
hakay
and anene mang call kan congratulate wo fa mang kumaya fang bari ntengalo ko ninte munun deputy na councilor fulol in the Gambia here they will be the best councilor because ngalo ni sonta and they have the will and the commitment. I will make them proud because I will give them all the support needed. In fact, there should be that good working relationship in between. Niaje UDP youth soul can't engage in his own neighborhood, then there is a problem. So it's not more.
Yes, any other question?
Okay, Mr.
Njai, do you have a question? Do you have a question for Jammeh?
Lafta ñinin kala menna. Bringa invite pour na e do ko ke. Munarna a mansom pour ay nan na e do ko ke. Kelen. Fula. Bir janinta ngana député yala. Ataka fu menna ko ala projet ko ay menuke. E munarna amol kenu because nyajibe light of bundu. Birinta nata député yala le wo stade. Andung ye street ye solar street light o street light ye bundu biring bohol word lembang fo murtani word lembang ntele akeje kana mo nyininka ning atra street light lem
no just question now then Suleiman can you respond
so say mune ya sabu
Suleiman jabiro ke say
ala question ako nyaadi minatinna
mune ya sabu biringe invite pour nale aliena nale doko ke muna ne manson
hani nte amanke ko mensong min keta ala force engagement ntata jele baro engagement o birin tata je fang problème o soto ta jele his force engagement yalon amanjari ka futa dula dolto problème o keta jele ani moli problème o soto je by then things were very tense between the APRC and the UDP. He had to even took a boy to police. You understand? So Andung, the working able to listen.
Mr. Abla Jabiro can then after Sifenga. Mr. Abla Jabiro Mr.
television also.
Mr. I mean I on your figure sign. Abla nya bang.
Yala tinin kale munatinna. Yalo niaje momina nyanta
that is a question I asked. Not
Mr. Jai no interjection. Mr. Jai Abla idea. Mr. Jai Abla idea.
I guide I question on
number one. Nyanta jela telefonko. He really want to work with me. But I thought for instanto, I am a community leader. Just like him, but don't tell councillor. Ntelling at sabang politic palace wala. I can street light will mill for thing. Ntoliena ward development plan ngadala since 2013, and if you go, I can provide it to you. You see where a street light mantraje. Water was our number one priority, which we address. No, but it coming for muna na nimam pare kadoko okay. Majeto.
Okay. Okay, now let's move on. Mr. Jaite, do you have a question? For any one of them?
Suleiman as a councillor, Minatina Naroko Etoko Bakar Meta engage. Etama kata Purinim Bakre engage, Kajoko Ledipitolum.
Thank you very much. Yajalente, I am very flexible. Whenever he engaged me, I respond. Andung? No. Recently, Ika solar light will mill for.
Mr. Allow him, please.
Mbamina.
Yes.
Ndolbele ba Bunndung. Ninko, we want to work. The councillor in Bunndung Bohol, I have good working relationship with him.
Lamin
Dabo. For nka kuja maleke, because Beka Bunndung represent. So nita mu eldati, ita ko ita MP, being the senior man.
Okay, what we will do now, Mr. Jai and Jammeh, I don't think this debate should be more about the two of you. I mean, if there is no further questions, maybe we can proceed. I mean, we will also open the lines. From Bunndungka. Well, viewers, you remind that the lines are now open. If you want to call and ask questions to any of the candidates here, I mean, you can now call on the program, especially those living in Bunndungka Kunda constituency. You can call and ask any question. Melbe QTV jube ka yinte meto ngala no yele momo la taka komandro ke pour ye question ni ka isa ke no sign aling ranyar sign nyamo député way ko député pour ko luwal dada nye gambela luwal jube yin tambento. Mr. Jammeh, I will start with you. Tay ñaare bi International Assembly mune wukle ila loi floti e be la filakaji ya falling na loi bukol kono and munem loi kuroti mi ko ibele ke introduce
ha yalon loi bi jere pour harama dingol ka loi na responsibility len ka doku bari police bi jere min fala nyanta ka tama pour loi bungol do na molla sulo sa enten nsa fengo fenkeno fo police len bam fo loi le mi yalon ko asa fengol da tala ka balafa soto molye mbalo la wala to fengo fem yalon ko.
Sorry, Mr. Yama, just hold on. I understand there's a caller on the line. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mamadou Bari. I'm calling from Bunndung.
All right. Do you have any question for any of the candidates here?
Yes, I have been living in Bunndung since 1981.
Okay.
I know Bunndung very well.
What's the question? Just make a direct question, please. We're running out of time.
I will learn to the question now.
Yeah.
I have not seen a significant development in Bunndung. Yes, I'm not living in Bunndung, Mauritania or Bunndung 6. I'm living in Bunndung, Bohor.
So what's your question now?
My question is, both of them.
Who and who?
All of them sitting there.
Okay.
I want to congratulate all of them for taking the initiative to want to represent Bunndung properly. But please, Bunndung has no development apart from the German Foundation Hospital.
Mr. Barry, can you just ask the question?
The roads are not good. We don't have water. The electricity is going on and off.
Mr. Barry, I'm sorry. Can you just ask your question?
My question is, Bakari Njai. Yes. I want to ask Bakari Njai.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bakari Njai, what significant development have you done for Bunndung? Because I've been here in Bunndung since 1981. I haven't seen significant development that an MP has done for Bunndung.
Thank you so much, Mr. Barry. Mr. Njai, respond.
Thank you very much. As I said, water supply, standpipe water supply was a major problem in Bunndung since at the inception of Bunndung, since the time of memorial. I am the one who solved that problem. Today, you can have pipe-borne water in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night. Then, we cannot use shower in Bunndung, but alhamdulillah, today we can do that.
All right.
And the hospital he is talking about, I make sure that the standard is kept. You can ask the Minister of Health. He will tell you more about what I did for that hospital, both individually and at the National Assembly.
But Mr. Njai, how do you feel having all your opponents saying no to what you are saying, and even this caller saying no?
No. The caller did not say no.
No, he's talking about the lack of development in Bunndungka Kunda constituency. He mentioned water.
Yes.
And you talk about that you have addressed the issue of water. Your opponents are saying that's not the case. The caller is saying that's not the case.
No. Sorry, Mr. Sise. Yeah. What I'm saying is, Bunndung, Bunndung or not Bunndung, when the light is not regular, the water supply is not flowing as it should be. The moment the electricity goes off, do you understand? You don't have water. But when there is normal supply of electricity now, you have water in Bunndung 24 hours.
Thank you.
So that was not the issue in Bunndung.
There's a caller. Okay. Hello, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello. Hello, caller. Mun nga ñu bàyyi sa tur ak fan nga nekk di woote?
Man maa ngi callee Bunndung.
Waaw, tur bi?
Waaw. Bunndung laa nekk di callee, maa ngi tudd Marinda.
Waaw, mun nga laajte lu gaaw rek.
Man honorable Bakary Njie laa nekk bugg a laajte.
Waaw.
Bridge yu moo wax noonu ak grader yu tuur yu suuf yi kañ la ko def ak ban bés. Because ñun gisuñ ko area am fu mu dëkk si boppam ndox mu ngi taxaw waaye defaru ko.
Jërëjëf. Mr. Njie.
Bridge boobu GRTS biñ ko launch, GRTS was there. GRTS.
That's the wooden bridge.
Yes, I invited Yankuba Koli there. The mayor was there. He may be listening, and he was there. And a lot of people, dignitaries around, they were all there. They are all on records. I will advise her to go to my
don't try to respond in Mandinka or Wolof,
okay.
Because the question is
na lafita ayta GRTS ñin do ko men ka foten GRTS birijo ñin birimba yelela GRTS nata jele nge invite le di den meo yankuba ko
wala isa fay birijo fon be min tole pour ayta ajeje
birijo ñin e silo men de da kutake me yalon ko abura lati kunda kata sukuta wo dulato sango sang mo ka fajele janimbe o birijo lola ngo birijo lole o kolale nata bula mansa kunda no makaje ko wasilo fongo e doku adi National Assembly Hospital adi National Assembly Chambers sayindeng alhamdulillah wasilo fango do kutale say fo e concrete so nga long short term plan so tay ne ani nga long term plan so tay
Abarka Bake, there's another caller on the line. Hello caller, what's your name and where are you calling from? Oh, we have lost that caller. Yes, Mr. Jai, ya moy fanan wo musuninga men fa ako abe dami defo jefon jokalo silo kanne.
Yo ninko silade da lafta e clear jang ninko silade da ko road rehabilitation nga berol le nga moto le nyini tada berol nyini nang nata nga jurmi je nga janjang ngol fa amanke ko nga silode da like construction company me alon ko ka silode da o nyama silol be jele mansa kunda mede da ngaje ko molbe bata kanne so nko nyinte nyin tuno nte nyaka sinola nyin na molbe batare wala yatina wulita ntata nga feroke nga moto nyini nga grablo nyini nga samana nga kije ndefon ning yutsol nka tinya njele wikeno brin somanda fo wularo katara o doku kam puru na moliye daha soto no nya
Abarka Bake, Mr. Jaite, let me now come back to you. Follow nganyine kare nko ni kira député to bi mune be kira ila short term priority pour kaje ka luwalu falling luwala ko wolten luwa falindiro
ha wala mu kaje ko na luwal me anko bankola buko kono luwa buko kono kaje ko fon luwal me yalon ko areal me yalon ko man ke fenti me yalon ko aba banko dun nafa kan o banko aba banko dun la ko lesni kan kaje ko banko dun man tarif amantre banko dun mako kan so wala ke fenti me yalon ko mol bol tala ka jibe because luwa buko membe mol bi ya fa ko luwa buko yata dada bar hansa mol man kaje ko luwa buko jing ayda dada because
Abarka Bake mambure tayso naro na win ban luwa ngay dugal ci lu gata rek just 10 seconds
luwa bu may njika emphasize on moy anti corruption bill bi
alright jërëjëf Mr. Ndiaye yow
waaw man tamit boobu mooy on suma top of the list li nga xam ne dama ko bëgg a dugal parce que
anti corruption
waaw parce que
Touré
corruption suñ ko adresse rek dara du baax
in 10 seconds
ban
luwa
men polo impose la wala ñu defo ka make sure no price control mun na Gambia banko kanko tanke
Abarka Bake well I understand we have completed end of this program. Each of you has 2 minutes to make a closing remarks. I'll start with Mr. Jami.
Yo, thank you very much. Mamol be tentula be jailambe tentula na panelisol miliyaron ko iba palaso nyini kan be tentula be jaila ka fo drong this is Bundung, this is Gambia. Niaje mbanyinke kan pour molleng banko kanole mu bari nga be samba anin kulwo nin horomo kan at the end of the day nga kuma kendol fo nyoma o kuma yata bakele so mimbo nyama mba bundunkol tentulambe jayla from the imam to the alkali to all the elders youth soul ya compinol be political party mil bebije be tentulambe jayla because at the end of the day is Gambia don mil be basirinja momo ya soto we expect you to deliver to the people of Bundung so as on that note na campaign team comme be politician scientist be na campaign team so banna campaign team be contact be jayla ka foye ko ngela do ko kala mutale ani milliardon ko iba do ko ke kanye be tentulam be jayla ba falo ko assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi taala ba na world development committee falang million accompany from 2013 to date collective achievement mi ngaso be tentulam be jayla and people behind the scene ningo for those people they know themselves. Thank you very much.
Mr. Jaite,
special thank you to the Q TV for their effort.
You can say in any language you
prefer. Yeah, for their effort to see that this section has been taken place as a number one TV in the country, and then also special thank you to my colleagues. And then all those who have rallied behind me, in Bunndungka Kunda, the whole entire Bunndung community. Momo be kontona al tondal kontona Bunndung kol be melalon ko e ben koma adi be sirim Bunndung kaje ko ka député kendol to mono mera anko wala sital represent no Bunndungka Kunda kaje ko luwal membe tabakam banko ka ay ke luwat be anko aw Bunndung kol nafala banko be ta fala wala ke fente be anko ba kala tamala bon député bunkono kono waranto be Bunndung kol be kontono kaje ko ibe parerim pour ka moto mo me alon ko wala sital la nyantole hakoni ila right nyin kaje ko ka emphasize député bunkono pour lafta men banko kam fa ala sa sunande kon be Bunndung kol be kontona wala ka ba al kalola fa imamolto fo me alon kol be bento no mabbi Bunndung sato kon kaje ko yus fajete e parata pour ka elect ka du député bunkono pour ayla hakko tamande ala barka
Mr. Mamboure
be mo be kontonna be Bunndung kol fanan kontonna mbe si fanam kontonna me mun na patiti yelanna ya men soronto pour nga contest this upcoming election benna nañul fanam bebe kontonna comme in kase kuma kilo kandro manke jawoti nkana ñoo muta as enemy mbe mu kilinati jambe bakilin fakili ntol be mbe the same area le banku dokuwo mbebe wala so nganna fonkol kafuño kan nganna londol kafuño kan yana san nganna effort kafuño kan dan nga Bunndung pousse ayta ñaato mbokay mang leen di nuyu di leen santa ama di leen tatagal di gërëm wa Bunndung surtout suma gox and then di gërëm ama si etam si olute bun am si man pour ma taxawal leen si gaatal di wax wa Bunndung ne ñun ñi yépp ñoo bokka ndey ñoo bokka baay luy jëmale Bunndung kanam rek moo ñu tax a jóg dun ay noon kon si kaw loolu na fan si itam bàyyi seen xel bu baax a baax ñu bàyyi di xooti post flyers yi and others ñun ñu ngi experience loolu noonu waaye ñu ni neen duñ ko defante so ñoom ñu nekk suñ gannaaw neen bàyyi seen xel bu baax a baax by the end of the day ñun ñooy dajeewaat ñun ñooy defaat lu ne together kon si kaw loolu neen bàyyi seen xel si loolu maa ngi gërëm nag suma campagne team bi suma campagne manageris bi anti Aida maa ngi ko gërëm bu baax a baax si liggéey bu mu nekk di def si biir Bunndung
jërëjëf Famara Mamboure CA Sambe sitting MP for nata wala mo Bakara Njayti UDP Mr. Njai in 2 minutes
baraka bake mbe tentula mbe jeyla ani men be lotam fe e ko ka député ya nyini mbe tentula mbe jeyla ka foye ko ndol be bota Bunndung ne ndenga Bunndung dammaleji wala ya sabu tol fango jokin relationship le benteni te be tema wala ya sabu nimbenda dawda alhamdulillah ka ala tentu bake ni o bota je mbe ala tentula mbe Bunndung kol be tentula ka je ko ye force manda men dinna pour ngata national assembly mbe tentula kotenke mbe jeyle tol me wulita kotenke e ko foyaje ko ngamuru député bugoto alhamdulillah ka to ngado ko menke kaadu do ko lu ngamenke alhamdulillah bi fama birim minakan muso dole walen kununne ye midinoke akonye ko yekko do microfinance ko do men dinna because musu taw nani compin tan nani muso la compino tan nani anin saba nga kododi wala la foye prier famma koy nge samba itata ye mechole ning nge samanan nge makoy kodoto me alon ko ye famma ko ala men ne alon ko atata almost $1 million muso dobe je o kodoto ye 5,000 dammale taji bar bi alhamdulillah akonye ko ila account membe je 175,000 iko wala landi bank me alon ko e buluma e man sulala e kela hajol topoto noje e bukata ka mo nyininka woto woyen kontan bakele lotal yen before be continue la ka loale député bumodo andum fanan ntal tulaje hanning atra ko community do ko manke na do ko di bakela le ne bayring yalon ne mu député woti ku jama men be ja akachata jam fam yalon ne ko wonte na do ko di bari ikanan kan ne ka fonye simply because yalon ne ko be do lote men dato be lori men dato because ku jama le men yalon ko e manke no Bunndung ntela na wole sambanaje Bunndung koltulo bennale andum ibe yalon nen kam men fo mantra hani ku fala me yalon ko mansodo oto mbeten lambe jeela mbafale ko ala baraka.
Thank you so much Mr. Toure ila closing remarks.
Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin mbe man so tentula man sa kallanke man sa hinen ton bawo mantra bampuren patu koma pati mantra bampuren koma mbe ala tentula tabaraka wa taala mi harje dinna mi selo dinna fon alake natalo ka lo as an independent candidate bunun bunun sate kono mbe mba ma tentula mba jela from there mbe na opponent sol be kontona mbe tentula mbe jela mbe bunun ko fana mbe tentula mbe jela mbe na campaign timo tentula mbe jela surtout na campaign manager min kede Fatmata Jobate ka fay nandin Jobate bunun sansan kono na boto woto mbe min fola mole wala nyinde ko nyin bunun kol surtout bunun kol mbe min dilela wala nyinde ko yakate fay ndamaye min kede independent candidate bawo parti be janne naje ko imam fenke mol miye mol nyabo naje na understand ko no iman du ko keno ida mol man du ko keno woto mimbe wo nyama bunnun kol alal bulo la nyokan alekate fay Samba Touré the only the independent the number one independent candidate from there ning parti be du ko keno bawo mbekela multi miyaron ko mantra bampuring parti ko at the end of the day from there but menna childhood friends bunum Bahamas ngol be kontona milbe bo bunun kono and milbe diaspora bawo akata an association mi yalon ko right now mbe business on afela bunun kono business on mi yalon ko bunun dingolo milbe sapatene je mbe wolle employee at the end of the day from there right now in account mi yalon ko is healthy and we are still contributing you can understand
Abaraka Baki Mr. Samba Touré well, viewers, I mean, like the rules, I mean, at the end of the debate, I mean, debaters are to shake hands or, have what we call elbow bump. But I think we have to make it very clear. I mean, this is the first debate where we have all the candidates in the constituency coming to participate in this debate. And I think in that regard, we really have to congratulate the candidates of Bunndungka Kunda constituency. I mean, we're so proud of all of you for coming. At the end of the day, this spirit is just for us to discuss. I mean, just to know your plans, your programs, what do you intend to do if you are elected by the people of your constituency. We now expect you to have your handshake or elbow bump. I mean, that's the spirit. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not... Yeah. Okay. Well, viewers, I'm afraid with that we come to the end of this live debate. Our debaters this night were Suleiman Jami of APRC, Yusufa Jaite, independent candidate, Famara Mambure of CA, Bakari Njai of UDP, and Samba Touré, another independent candidate. Do join my colleague Ansumana Isonyasi tomorrow. He will be here to bring you the Serekunda constituency debate. On behalf of the production team and everyone at QTV, we thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.